Teresa, thanks. Governor Gavin Newsom's proposed budget could mean huge cuts for some organizations here in San Diego. Edward Hershey is the president and the CEO of Home of Guiding Hands. He joins us now to talk more about the implications of the budget cuts to his organization. Edward, good to see you. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thanks for having me today.
Tell me a little bit about what your organization does. I know it handles folks with disabilities.
Yeah, so we're the largest provider of services in San Diego and Imperial County for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Last year alone, we served 4,600 individuals.
Tell me about some of the services you provide.
We have an array of services, everything from residential programs, that's what we're mostly known for. Started that about 55 years ago. But now we have an array of services from transportation, community assistance, IDA assessments. We're one of the few programs that actually does an assessment with families to identify if they do have a disability.
What's a residential program? Is that where they live there and you take care of them?
Yeah, so we have group homes. That's what we started with in our first programs in 1957. Started residential group homes. So we have 31 now spread throughout East County.
I was reading about your respite programs too. It sounds like that's where maybe if a family member that looks after somebody who's got a mental or a physical issue, they can kind of get a break from that.
Yeah, that was, so I have a daughter with a disability, and that was the first service that my wife and I utilized. Our first experience into services within California and guaranteed services, and it was somebody to come in and just give us a break, a much needed break where we could go on a date night again, or we could reconnect, or just get some time together.
So it sounds like the governor is cutting about $1 billion to these kinds of industries, and $3 million of it would be going to your organization to help these folks.
Yeah, and as you know, costs are going up. Costs to do business, costs for gas, everything is increasing. And then we're being hit with our competitors having rate increases. So minimum wage going up in fast food. The rate that we're given to provide our individual staff is less than that.
Yeah. So you get some money from the government. Do people then also pay? How does it work as far as the funding of it?
So California is unique. Back in the 70s, when we were looking at closing institutes, the Lanterman Act was California people got together, said there had to be a better way, and so the Lanterman Act was established, which guarantees services for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So the government is supposed to utilize your tax dollars and help care for these individuals. But for decades, it's been underfunded. In 2018, they did a rate study throughout the state that showed it's been underfunded by $1.6 billion. Wow.
So what happens to all these folks now and their families?
You know, some don't even have families. Providers like us become their families. But some end up being homeless. Some do not get the adequate care they need to live within their community. I was working with an individual earlier today. She hasn't had support to go grocery shopping. So we rallied some staff to get her some support to just get simple food in the house.
Yeah. So what do you do? I mean, what can be done? It sounds like there's a lot of people out there really hurting and needing help.
Yeah, so the budget isn't over yet. You know, they will vote before June 15th. So your voice, your opinion, San Diego, all of California's, your voice matters. So reach out to your legislators. Let them know not to make this cut to this much needed service.
Edward Hershey, Home of Guiding Hands. Thanks for coming by and providing some insight to all of this. I had no idea.
Yeah, if you want to get some more information tomorrow in the Union Tribune, we have an op-ed coming out where there's a little bit more on my perspective and how I feel like we're doomed to repeat history.
Sure. Okay.
And then also a perspective from a family member.
And you've got the website too. I was just on it. So Edward, good to see you.
You as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Teresa.